Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I'm playing a deck that is one of my favorite stupid things to explore once in a while. At the request of Patreon subscriber Beerguard, I am revisiting Stasis in Legacy. 1 and a blue for an enchantment. Players skip their untapped steps. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Stasis unless you pay blue. The trick here is that paying the blue every turn is kind of like cumulative upkeep because that blue source never untaps. So the puzzle to solve is how do I keep getting blue mana every turn if I don't get an untapped step. I spent a lot of time on Scryfall in my life and today looking for some secret tech to make Stasis really work. White Plume Adventurer was the best thing I ever found for this deck, and unfortunately they banned it because some people were doing some suspicious activities with it. I wish they would unban it for me to play in Stasis, and everyone else can not do that. But unfortunately, I don't get a special exemption, and I get to play with the cards that are legal. The worst part of brewing with Stasis is I would love to play Seedborn Muse, Prophet of Crufix, Merc something Liege, the Simic Liege from Shadowmoor, or Eventide. That's what I want to be doing with this deck, but they don't work because they untap all your cards during your opponent's untap steps, and players don't get an untap step. If your opponent doesn't get an untap step, that means you don't get to untap your stuff during their untap step. And it's simply just not how this works. If Stasis red permanents don't, or players don't untap their permanents during their untap step, it would work, but I mean, we got to work with what we got here. If things were different, they wouldn't be the same. What am I doing here? Luckily for Beerguard and all of the viewers of this channel, I've spent a lot of time figuring out Stasis engines over the years, and the best one that I found that doesn't involve White Plume Adventurer is just Quarian Ranger and a Mana Dork. Quarian Ranger, return a forest you control to its owner's hand, untap target creature, activate once each turn. Ranger with a Mana Dork and a Tropical Island, which is a blue source that's also a forest, means that you can use the Dork or the Island to pay for the Stasis cost. Then you can bounce the Island to untap the Dork and replay the Island. And not only do you cover Stasis forever in this loop, you're also making additional mana each turn for other spells. So over a long game, which games where you have your opponent's Stasis locked end up being long, you will eventually be able to cast something like Garruk, which pluses to untap 2 target lands, or Kiora Master of Depths, who pluses to untap a creature and a land, and then these Planeswalkers win the game somehow. Scrib Ranger is really the secret sauce. This has all the text of Quarian Ranger on it, but it's also a flash flying protection from blue creature. Just hold Murktide back forever, 8 Brazen Borrowers, bounce off Delvers. I love a Scrib Ranger. I've got 6 Mana Dorks and 7 Quarian Ranger effects in the deck. A small amount of removal in the form of Brazen Borrower, because sometimes you do have to remove stuff from play. Though Stasis is very good at making most things that are in play irrelevant. We're basically worried about Planeswalkers. And that's why the deck also has 6 Forces and 2 Spell Pierces in the main. Try to keep those off the board. And in my flex slots, I just packed out a bunch of Narset Parter Veils. She's pretty good against the control decks of the format right now, who are all trying to do bean-related stuff. She digs for your Stasis. She digs for your other Planeswalkers. She's blue for Force. She finds a Force. And she can find Exploration, which is another way to really bust open a Stasis lock with your own Quarian Rangers. If you could bounce a land every turn and play a land every turn, an additional one, and you're untapping a Mana Dork, that gets you out of it. This might look pretty anemic on win conditions, but it doesn't have to have a ton of them because Stasis really does just jack up anyone who is not ready to play against this card. This is kind of the no frills, nothing special, just core Stasis engine build of the deck, and that's what I'm going to do here. It's clean, it's simple, it's got a plan, it knows what it's about, and I'm going to rock with it. This is Beerguard's Simic Stasis. Let's do it. I'm on the draw in round 1, with a double Stasis hand and Force Blue card, I really wish one of these cards at random was a land. Like turn 2 Narset is part of the package here. That's why I landed on Narset, because the dorks are so good with her. How many lands did I put in this deck? 16. That's not a whole lot. I don't think I can keep this. Yeah, I would keep this if any of these were a land or a ranger, but they're not. Yeah, I'll mull it. Sucks to suck. Oh no, it's getting worse. Maybe 16 is not enough lands for this deck. I will keep and put a land and a Kiora on the bottom. Kiora is a later problem. I'll figure that out once I have them in the Stasis lock. Island Ponder for my opponent. What a sick sequence. I'm jealous. No wonder they kept their hand. Got that cool Lord of the Rings map island. I'm something of an Island Ponder wizard myself. Oh, now we're cooking. Got Scrib Ranger, Force of Will. Alright, now I have Force Blue card. I'm drawing Scrib Ranger. That's half the combo. I can shuffle away the land I don't want. And then we just gotta find a Stasis somewhere. And even if we don't find a Stasis somewhere, maybe Garruk Wildspeaker will just win the game by putting some beasts into play. Depends on what they're up to. Tropical Island, up the Beanstalk. I have some temptation to fight over that, but also being a Narset deck with kind of a combo finish, I feel like I'm going to have to fight something at some point that's going to be more important than this. At least I hope that to be true. Or else I just lost. Okay, we got some Sultai mana over there. I'm going to jam Scrib Ranger in the end step. Best to just have it around. It does, unfortunately, die to Witherbloom Command, which is a sorcery, so I get at least one turn here, but I am worried about the safety of this little fella. It could also just Murderous Cut or Edict it in the end step. Orcish Bowmaster, well, that's a card I don't like. I'm going to try to force that one. Yeah, Orcish Bowmaster didn't exist last time I played Stasis. This deck built on X1s might struggle a little bit here, believe it or not. Getting my damage through. Flooded Strand is not in my Sultai Beanstalk deck. My deck, Pokemoki's deck. The deck that I played at Eternal Weekend, because you do play a Bayou, and you just play 4 Misties, 4 Deltas to be perfect. So this is not the whole list, if it is any of the list at all. And there's the Bayou. Interesting. Ponder did not shuffle. I can Re-Ranger. Re-Ranger, I hardly know her. I'm going to get in for 1. And I think I'm just going to shove this Garruk into play. Unbeatable magic cards for 500, Alex. Okay, they've got a Bowmaster. It will kill my Scrib Ranger. And can I put a 3/3 Beast into the party? Nope. Getting wrecked. Forest Pitching Dress Down. Yeah, this is... does look like Bug Beanstalk, but it's quite a ways away from the list I played. Yeah, Witherbloom Command is some bullshit against Stasis. If they could just have 2 mana up on the turn that I Stasis, they can remove it cleanly. Okay, we've got a 4th color here. Another Bean. Down to 3 cards in hand. If I draw Stasis right now, we're actually still doing it. Stasis off the top. Ponder. It could happen. I'm going to Ponder. Fuck a Bowmaster. I just got to find cards here. Oh, Re-Bowmaster. Light me up. If I find Stasis, this doesn't matter. I did find Stasis and Exploration. Wow, that's good. Okay. If there is a forest on top of my deck, how does this play? I'm 1 mana short. Having to Ponder here means that I don't quite get to do what I want. If I play the Exploration now, that does give them a turn worth of removal, which I don't care for. Would I rather have the land or the Exploration? I'm going to draw the Stasis next turn. Not going to shuffle. They can ping me. Unfortunately, due to having to Ponder here, I'm going to end up a little short. I just have to hope that their hand has no interaction in it. And never draws it, because if they don't tap their mana, Stasis, they could just hang out. Yeah, taking 6 here. I'm at 6. If their hand has anything in it, I cannot win this game. All right, Scrib Ranger, get in. Moment of truth. I'll play Stasis. If they Force of Will, I'm dead. Okay, I'm going to attack for 1. I'm going to untap my creature, picking up a forest, and play my land for turn. All right, question mark. Leyline Binding in the end step. That'll do. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, I needed to do that last turn before the binding came up. Force of Vigor is in the deck for bean strategies. I think I'm going to shave on Exploration. I do like Force of Will. I don't love Force of Negation. Surgical is interesting. If they are based on bug beans, they probably only have Bowmasters and Murktides to win the game with, which if I Surgical one of them, that could be a lot of threats out of their deck. They might even be an Uro build. However, I'm a deck without removal. I would have to counter one of those things, or they'd have to like mill it over themselves with their Commander Loam before it would even be in the graveyard for me to take. Flusterstorm does not answer. Leyline Binding. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring in the Force of Vigors, and now I know the matchup. Maybe a Lorien Revealed is better than the third Narset or the second Quirion Ranger. It's just building out my blue count and upping my effective land count. I mean, 16 lands with 6 mana dorks is a lot, and Quirion Ranger can hit your land drop, kind of, by picking up your land and replaying it after you float mana. So this deck has more mana than it seems, but I do have to keep hands that can cast spells. Okay, we've got a path up to Narset, got a Quirion Ranger, and some selection. I'm in. Yeah, your 16 land decks start to look really good when you can just keep a hand with 3 lands in it. Preordain. I love a Spell Pierce here. I think I'm actually going to bury the Brainstorm, keep the Spell Pierce, because I can't Spell Pierce an Orcish Bowmaster. I would love to draw a Noble Hierarch this turn, or a Birds of Paradise. If I can mana Dork, protect the Dork with Pierce, and then protect Narset with Pierce on the following turn, that would be a great sequence. It's kind of a lot to ask for, but I do play a lot of those. Or I could draw a 4-mana Planeswalker. Yeah. I'm playing the Ranger into Bowmaster. The metagame has gotten a lot more hostile. I have not played this deck since before Lord of the Rings existed. I'm going to start with a Ponder and see where that gets me. Then decide if I want to hold up Pierce or invest in this Ranger. There's a Hierarch and a Stasis. Wow, it's all there. Okay, I'm going to grab this Hierarch. Stasis is on top of my deck. If they Bowmaster this right away, that sucks. If they don't, I have a huge turn, like a game-ending turn next turn with Spell Pierce protection. Please play Beanstalk. Heck yeah. Okay. I mean, they'd have to have double counter to do anything here. Misty Rainforest, Stasis. They are forcing that. Pitching Uro. Uro confirmed. And when they draw the card, doesn't affect this battle at all. Spell Pierce. Stasis is in. Gotta get my Ranger down. Ranger Danger. We're in. Okay. Force of Vigor clears this. If they have a 1-mana removal spell, yeah, Fatal Push breaks this up. Embarrassing. This is the turn they have to do something, though. Okay, end step. I'm going to untap Noble Hierarch, bouncing my Trop. Go to my turn, pay for Stasis. All right, we got there. Draw for turn. Tropical Island. Attack for 1. Attack for 2, even. Look at me with my Exalted. That I totally remembered on purpose. And here I have a mana up to pay for Stasis. The next turn I can get the full 2 mana per turn cranking. And they can just hit their land drops and get out of this. Orcish Bowmaster once again. A huge asshole. Can I draw Force of Will? I'll feel good about that. Not this time. Untap the Hierarch. Play the Trop. And I'm just going to pass here. There's no attacks to be had. Traditionally, Root Mazes in this deck, and then lands enter tapped, which is more of a hard lock than letting these decks hit their land drops. Unfortunately, I do not have that technology in this deck. I thought the Narset squeeze would be good, and maybe it's not. I'm going to pay with the Hierarch, keep my lands around. Oh, big Scribbies. And they're just playing Draw Go as well. Wasteland, disappointing. I guess that doesn't really do anything. It's fine. It's a mana source for them. Spell Pierce, okay, don't hate that one. Let's untap this Noble Hierarch. Island, I have the option right now to try to send Narset in, but I'm on the edge of my combo at that point. There's a Bowmaster. All right, do they want the Dork or the Ranger is the important question. Okay. Blue, green. Scribby. Over the top. Right, the dork's gone, but I still have the Stasis in play. And they just spent 2 mana on that. You get to attack for one time, and then that's shut down. And now we get to watch paint dry for a while. Go to my turn, fetch a trop, pay, Force of Negation. Okay. Untap Quarian Ranger, pick up the trop, play the trop, attack with Scrib Ranger. Yeah, without the mana dork, this is not pretty. I'm sure their deck plays more lands than mine. If I ever have to spell pierce, I'm just out of mana. If I draw a Wasteland, my Stasis dies. Okay, here comes a fetch. Carpet of Flowers, shut the front door. I'm gonna Force of Negation that for sure. It's not a card I can beat at all. Well, that's bad news. So if I spell pierce this, then I lose Stasis. But I can't beat Carpet. So I will spell pierce the Carpet underneath the Force of Will. And then they get the first untap. Oh no. Yeah, Carpet is not a particularly beatable Magic card for this deck. And now I wish I could kill my Stasis in my own end step somehow, but I can't. I also looked at that build of the deck when I was tuning. There's a bunch of stuff where it's like bounce a permanent to do something. And you can pick up your own Stasis in their end step, then replay it on your turn. Alright, Stasis is dead. Long live Stasis. Birds of Paradise, thank you for showing up. Untap my Scrib Ranger. I'll at least get my point of damage I'm entitled to here. Birds of Paradise, you're in there. Okay, they have all this mana now. 4 cards in their hand, 5 cards in their hand after their draw step. Surely there's nothing they can do here. Another bean. This smells like a Murktide to me. Oh, there you are. Let me tell you about Murktide Regent that also draws 2 cards. Not cool. I'll take my 1 here. And we gotta try to Narset our way out of this one. If I find a Stasis here, we're back in it. Something's happening. Leyline Binding in response. Okay. What do you want to take? Take the Narset herself, sure. Can she find a Stasis on the way out? She can. Okay. Blue. Ranger. Untap. Bounce my Forest. Forest. Question mark. No force, no force, no force, no force. Okay, that resolved. And will it be helpful to have Noble Hierarch in play? Yes. That just introduces redundancy to what I'm up to here. Okay. Go. Don't Leyline Binding me again. Just go to your turn with no additional plays in the end step. Okay, that happened. Fetching in the upkeep. Finding a Bayou. Witherbloom Command still fucks me right up. Oh no, green in the pool, black in the pool. No, not like this. Okay, I've been slain. We're not going to get through this one. I will concede. Maybe there was more game to play there. Oh no, they killed my ranger that can block Murktide. No, we were super dead. Okay, next round. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. You can also find Jeremy co-hosting episodes 106 and 109 of the Tech Talk series with Keith Shaw on the Tech Talk YouTube channel. Head over to Tech Talk and don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube channel for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play for round 2. I can Exploration and Ponder on turn 1. I'm going to rock with this. Oh no, I'm on the draw. I'm still going to rock with this. Underground Sea. Ponder. Okay. Yeah, the structure of this deck being built around a bunch of X1s in the Bowmaster metagame that, I'm not going to lie, when you're brewing Stasis, your brain goes to a certain place, and then that place was not prepared to remember how fucked up Orcish Bowmaster is. I'm busy just trying to make my thing work. How can I worry about your thing too? But having played 1 match against Orcish Bowmaster, I kind of wish I had built the deck completely differently, and we're just going to make it work with what we got. Oh, I mean, there's Land Scrib Ranger Stasis, so if it's going to work, it's going to work like this. Okay, pass the turn. My best build of this deck was Bant for the White Plume Adventure that I mentioned, but being on White Plume Adventure also meant we got Swords to Plowshares and stuff. Okay, we're against Doomsday. I mean, if they build a win the game right now pile, they're going to win right now, but Stasis could get them. Do you hear me just huffing that copium? Because I have to play into Daze if I want to lock them. Because I'm drawing Ranger. If I play Ranger, bounce a land, play 2 lands, then I can play Stasis. Oh, but then I can't pay for it? Yeah, this doesn't even work. I'm probably just going to have to brainstorm looking for interaction. If I even get a turn, of course. They've got a mana ready. And if they left the fetch land in play, it means they put a land into their pile. All right, brainstorm. Let's just try to play normal Magic for a turn. Exploration's gone. Tropical Island's gone. First land drop, fetch. I can brainstorm and fetch again this turn. Exploration in a fair deck is so silly. Brainstorm. There's a Force of Will. Pretty happy with that. And then, okay, how do I stack this? Because the fetch, if I need the mana, and I would like to end step the Ranger. Guess I can hide my backup Stasis on top of the deck with a land. I go land, backup Stasis. I can pitch Brazen Borrower, play Scrib Ranger, and then Stasis them on my turn. All right. Okay, we're close here. So close. I have to assume they built their pile to beat a Force of Will. Peak. I might just force this, actually. I am. If this gets their chain going, I just don't want them to do that. I need one turn to try to get my hooks in here. Okay, the Force resolved. Can they refire, or was that the start to their chain? With second land, they might be able to Thoracle me through a Stasis with that. Okay, there's a land on top of my deck. I have 2 land drops. Scrib Ranger can play one of them. I think I do want to draw the land on top of my deck. Oh wait, Stasis was on top of my deck? How did this happen? I've made a huge mistake. Alright, Scrib Ranger. It's going to untap itself, picking up Tropical Island. Then I'll play the Stasis and hope we win. Yeah, this pile they made, Stasis doesn't even beat. Because they have plenty of mana. Assuming that there are fetchables left in their Doomsday pile. Cycling Edge of Autumn, yeah, just fetch Oracle. GG. Stasis for nothing. Okay, the 1 card left, so they actually only need 1 fetchable here. Or a Lotus Petal would do it. Okay, they figured it out. Alright, disappointing. Their pile was high on mana. That was not their issue. I do have a bunch of sideboard for this matchup, though. Endurances and Flusterstorms come in. Quirion Ranger, Garrick, Exploration are all engine cards that I don't necessarily need in this matchup. I just need to be alive after a while. Brazen Borrower doesn't do a lot. Sometimes they pivot onto a creature plan, and that might get me. I like Narset. I like all my dorks. I like the level of permission that this deck plays is actually pretty appropriate for this matchup. Let's get in. Okay, keep. Force blue card and Endurance green card. That's what I'm looking for in this matchup. It's not really about stasising them. As we just saw, I executed my whole combo and it wasn't enough. I am going to ponder. Okay, there's a backup green card and a backup blue card. Okay, I will put the Exploration in my hand. I still have Force blue card, Endurance green card, and then I have Stasis Ranger floating on top of my deck to actually put the hooks in. Not a bad setup. Blue to Delta pass from the opponent. Put a new green card in my hand, which means I can play this Exploration and this Forest. Unfortunately, I only have 1 trop. Drew both of my basics. Doomsday's not going to attack my mana, but it is still noteworthy. They kept their top card. Terrifying. I am just going to fire this Ranger out here. If they daze, they daze. Brainstorm in response. Okay. Force of Will pitching Brazen Borrower. I could force pitching Cure here. I know I'm drawing Stasis, and then see if that plays, or for how long that plays. Yeah, I think getting the hooks in with the Exploration is worth doing, especially if they seem to be worried about that. They push for damage. Float blue, untap my creature. Play the Trop, play the Stasis. Okay, go. Now I want to be bouncing on their turn and on my turn because I have 2 land drops and the land's not going to untap anyway. As we've seen, this is a deck that can beat this anyway, so whatever. I missed the shit out of Root Maze. I grew too complacent with my White Plume Adventurer endgame. Okay, they're making a move. If they can Dark Ritual Doomsday, then draw a card and get their chain going, they can beat me here. If they have to spend 3 mana on the Doomsday, I'm actually pretty happy with that world. Okay, that resolves. I can keep my Stasis and hardcast Endurance next turn if I need to do all that. I'll lose the Stasis if I don't draw a second blue source, though. I was at a paper tournament once where somebody was playing Stasis based around Diamond Valley. Nope, not Diamond Valley. Undiscovered Paradise. I knew that didn't sound right when I said it. Undiscovered Paradise is a 5-color land that, as you untap it, it returns to your hand. The exact text is, tap, add 1 mana of any color. During your next untap step, as you untap your permanents, return Undiscovered Paradise to your hand. And somebody was 3-0 with that. And I just walked by and pointed out to a judge that the Paradise doesn't bounce because they don't get an untap step. And their whole thing they built their deck around just doesn't even work. That was awkward. Hey, my opponent has come up with a Doomsday pile. Look at their deck. What do we got? Brazen Borrower's in. I'm mostly looking for juke creatures. Oh, Jesus, there's so many Carpet of Flowers in this deck. Okay. I don't see any juke creatures, but I do see Carpet of Flowers in high numbers. Ready, end step, untap my Ranger, bouncing my Forest. Then I can pay for Stasis on my turn. Draw. Okay, that's a second Tropical Island. Could just play these 2 lands out. Or I could pick up this trop. Does that matter? I don't think it matters. It would matter for next turn, but not for this turn. Okay, I'm just going to dump out the ones that I have in my hand. Okay. What is your plan to win without mana? And they could literally just draw these 5 cards, take 5 from my Script Ranger, and go like Island Cavern of Souls. And that could be their plan with Forest Blue card still in the back. Blue to Delta, which means they put a fetchable in the pile. If they have a carpet in their hand, they might be able to just send it right now. Lion's Eye Diamond. And Endurance is really good against Lion's Eye Diamond lines, at least. Thoughtseize. Knock it off. Well, if they don't win right now, they lose. So I will play this Tropical Island, cast Endurance, put 2 cards from their graveyard on the bottom of their deck, and hope that they can't get through the pile this turn, because then I just attack for 4, and they're at 3. Okay, I mean, if the LED can get through 5 cards here, they're going to win. They've already made their land drop. Edge of Autumn. I guess it only needs to get through 3 cards, because they know I don't have a removal spell. Wraith to 1. Okay, they probably have this pretty easily, actually. Oh, yeah! Weren't ready for the Endurance. Okay. I mean, there were definitely piles that could have beaten that, and they did not find them. Okay, do I have to bring in Force of Vigor just because we saw multiple Carpet of Flowers? Okay, in addition to the new printing of Orcish Bowmaster, the meta position of Carpet of Flowers just being insane right now is really bad for this deck. I think I'm just going to run the same deck and understand that if they play Carpet of Flowers, I'm wrecked, or it's a must counter. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I've got Endurance green card, and I can accelerate a turn 2 Narset, which actually collapses their pile, because they've been doing a lot of tight piles that draw a bunch of cards in a turn. I am going to keep this hand. Look, oh, Dark Ritual. They're just sending it. Good bet. I was not prepared. Let's just hope they like cycle a Wraith into an LED and just go all in right now where Endurance can clip them. I don't think decks are playing Sheldock Isle right now. Control just isn't good enough for Sheldock Isle to be a line, and every control deck has some Wastelands in it. This is where the comments point out that the deck that I looked at, Exiled with Doomsday last game, had Sheldock Isle in it. I don't know if that's true, but it happens with some regularity that I could have looked at a card and simply didn't, and then say they don't have it in Game 3. Fast and loose, playing on vibes. I registered Stasis in this event. You think I'm going to look at my opponent's deck when they Doomsday? Forget it. My best draw is probably Spell Pierce, though I would be very happy with a... Or Flusterstorm is probably the best draw. But I'd be happy with a Force, or Pierce also. My plan currently is to just play Tropical Island and pass. And then I have Endurance plus Noble Hierarch as a green card, and then I can Emergency Brainstorm for a Force if I need one. They've resolved their thing. Shieldred is in the deck now. Lion's Eye Diamond's in exile, so I don't think this Endurance is actually going to get them. There's multiple Murktide Regents in here. That's gross. How many Forces are in the pile? It looks like 0. Oh my goodness. Literally 0 counterspells in this pile. Okay. I'm actually going to play Windswept Heath and pass here, not Tropical Island, in case they do try to carpet for a jump on mana. I would like to compete with that if I can. Okay, they're in the draw go game. I don't think I insta this brainstorm. All right, deck. It's not funny anymore. I don't think there's any positive to brainstorming right now. Or if I hit ponder, I would like to keep digging. Okay. Figured it out. Found the line. Brainstorm. Show me a fluster. Oh, stasis ponder. Well, I hit the thing I was worried about. Ponder. Come on, force. Spell pierce. Oh, that's so good next turn. All right, I'm not going to shuffle and hope that that show of strength causes them to slow down. I do have Endurance Green card. If I can get to protect it with Spell Pierce next turn, I'm going to be feeling good. There's a Cavern. They could just play Thoracle right now and then cycle. Deranged. Okay, here we go. I'm in trouble. There are 0 forces in the exile pile. I was probably supposed to Endurance in response to the Edge of Autumn draw. That's just 1 fewer card that they could have, I guess. So sad the Spell Pierce wasn't in the Brainstorm. And now they're going to counter this and I lose. Yep. Okay, you got me. Barely. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in round 3. Island Ponder. We keep these. This hand almost looks like a Legacy deck. The dirty trick. Bloodstained Mire. Okay. We're against a combo gamer. Bloodstained Mire isn't in decks. Isn't in normal decks. I'm just letting them fire into this Force of Negation. Shit. Oh, they're targeting themselves. That's fine. They're all in. And I'm going to get the Animate Dead. Okay, exile the Ponder. Maybe I'm supposed to counter the Unmask. And I get extra cards out of them if I let that resolve. But that doesn't help if they end up with the creature in their graveyard. Like now they have more live draws. They would have 1 fewer card, but now they have more live draws. Narset, Brazen Bee, Noble Hierarch. You don't really want to bounce an Atraxa, I gotta say. I think I do want the Hierarch and the Narset here, and just hope that I fade 2 draw steps from them. Okay, I'll land. Faded the first one. Okay, I'm gonna go Hierarch and Ranger here, and cross my fingers. They probably have somewhere between like 8 and 10, 8 and 11 good draws in their deck right now. Please whiff, please whiff, please whiff. I hate Magic. Hate it so much. This game is bullshit. I'm quitting. It's over. But again, like this would not have been an issue if I had countered the Unmask. So I did this to myself. Not allowed to complain. Okay, they kept Grief, Animate Dead, Reanimate, and they pitched to the Reanimate. They probably stripped Brazen Borrower here. And Atraxa has freaking Vigilance, so I can't even rip Stasis and get out of this. Woof. So I have 1 Brazen Borrower. I have to somehow, off of the 1 Narset that's going to be left in my hand, Brazen Borrow them, Brazen Borrow the Atraxa, and Stasis them. Blue, something, Narset, boing. Here's the Brazen Borrower straight to the bottom of the deck. I needed that pretty bad. I'll play the other Ranger and brace for death. They're attacking Narset with the Atraxa. I mean, that's a whole turn I get to think about and operate. Brainstorm. Scribbies. Oh, what's up? The nuts. Okay, Scribbies is actually heckin' bonkers here, if I'm allowed to say that on the internet. Okay, I mean, that kind of just completely stabilizes. Now I have to decide if I want to risk getting Garruk discarded. I guess I have my land drop, so I can do it all. Put back Garruk on top, play the fetch land, and just Scrib Rangers. Of all the words on Atraxa, Trample's not one of them. Entomb to go Hellbent again. I mean, now they're set up if they find another reanimation spell. But I got the hard lock here. Scrib Ranger versus a big blue flyer. Block. Got him. Fetch. Drop. We got the no protection from blue in the chat. That's right. Live in fear. Okay, beast mode activated. I still don't know how I'm going to beat this Atraxa, but I can certainly block it for a while. Another Entomb. Are they at the point where they're going to Entomb a Faithless Looting and just try to dig for a reanimation spell? I will double block Grief now. Okay. Come on, Stasis. We're getting there. Oh my god. It's here. We've done it. Stasis. Untap the Hierarch, bouncing the Trop. I'll make another Beast. And I guess now I just have to hang out until I draw a counterspell before they draw a reanimate spell. Fingers crossed. Pay for that. Another Scribby. Okay, so if I go green, green, Scrib Ranger, untap 2 lands, and I still have a land drop, untap my Hierarch, and I get to attack now because I have 2 Scribbies. Alright, the race is on from 24. Faithless Looting. Uh-oh. That's very good for them. It does cost them mana, though. And they're under Stasis. Okay, we're out here. Living our lives. Counterspell? Oh my god. We're in there. Okay, Scribs, untap yourself with the Trop. Play the Trop. Can I... Yes, I can hard cast Force and then still... Yeah, okay. I can hard cast Force and still pay for Stasis. With the amount of Scribs that I have. I forgot to attack. I was too excited. Scrib Ranger should have attack there. Should be a 20. A draw. Attack for 2. Scrib, untap yourself. Plus Garruk. I'm trying to get Garruk up high because I feel like an overrun might actually be my path out of this game. Lotus Petal. Unfair. Faithless Looting. Okay. I'm not going to fight over this. Like, the fact that their graveyard's already gassed up and their lands cost real costs. There's a Dark Ritual. Exhume. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ranger, untap Hierarch. That's 5. Cast Force of Will on that. Oh yeah! Stasis beating an Atraxa. Well, Scrib Ranger beating Atraxa. Endurance, Surgical, Fluster come in. I don't think I want Hydroblast. They do have Faithless Looting, but I don't think that's enough to bring in Hydroblast for when I have all these other cards. They're a low resource deck. I think I can cut Exploration against them. And Garruk was solid there, but I think Giora is better because she's blue and green for the Endurances and Forces. I don't actually have that many cards I want to cut. And I'm just like undermining my own setup, but I guess that's fine. Kind of treating it the same way as Doomsday. Yeah, and this is even more than Doomsday. You just have to be alive for a turn, and then you can figure it out after that. He preordains a little slow. And I can still keep 5 Dorks, 5 Rangers, all my Stasis. Let's run it. If I won one match this league, I'd be pretty happy if it's against Reanimator. Okay, I'll keep this hand. It has turn 0 interaction, and I can Brainstorm if I get a turn. Fingers crossed. Opponent went to 5. They've got the swamp that looks like a mountain. They're unmasking themselves. And I don't have Counterspell this time, so there's nothing to decide. Just Surgical that Grizzfather. I won a game on turn 1. Ding, 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 ding. We're on the board. Count it. Let's go. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic Player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the draw, round 4. No lands here, gotta mulligan this one. I will keep a 1-lander. The deck is built for that. I think I want Narset more than I want the 3rd cantrip here. I just want my hand to be able to do something if we get to a place where I could do something. On the draw against Delver with, oh, Lotus Petal, never mind. On the draw against Dragon's Rage Channeler with a 1-lander. Is this a Phoenix deck? I played against Phoenix twice last week in the same league after not seeing that deck for what feels like 18 months. I'm trying to think what deck has Lotus Petal and Dragon's Rage Channeler in it. You're a Master of Death, hell yeah. Or Master of the Deep. Yeah, Master of Death. Give me that crossover. I'm going to shuffle this. It is not a land anywhere to be found. And shuffled and drew Scrib Ranger anyway. Bug. The Lotus Petals make me think they don't have Wastelands in their deck. Like, whatever it is they're doing, I don't think it involves Wasteland. Cabal Therapy. Okay. This feels like a Phoenix deck, which seems weird to say in 2023, damn near 2024. But surveilling Cabal Ritual directly into your hand is, or Cabal Therapy directly into your graveyard is sick play. I hope they just try to blind name something. 0% they'll hit anything. God, what's happening? Okay, they sacked all their Lotus Petals and put a bunch of mana in the pool and then undid it all. Didn't like that. Okay, I like having Force of Will. Ranger, get in. This Ranger guarantees I can play 2 spells this turn, even if it's not pretty. Okay, cool. More Stasis, more lands. The lands are what I'm really looking for here. And knowing that there's Stasis 2 cards down means I can force something and see where we end up. Lightning Bolt. That's okay. I have more Ranger effects in my hand. That's gone. They've been surveilling to the top a lot. It's making me nervous. They've only milled 1 card out of 3 surveils. Okay, Stasis on top of my deck right now. Stasis also in my hand right now. I've got Force and Scrib Ranger. Ponder. They've been to Buried Alive, so they're 100% Phoenix. Why is this making a resurgence? Did someone win a Moto challenge with it or something? It's interesting that I would see this deck 3 times in a week after not seeing it for almost 2 years. Thoughtseize, come on, give me a break. All right, I'll let them Thoughtseize me. If they take the Stasis, I have one on top of my deck. If they take the Force, I was probably losing this turn anyway. And the cool thing about Phoenix is, even if they do go off here, they like attack me for 12, then I can play Stasis, and it's all frozen. So like they have to kind of take the Stasis here, even if they want to take the Force. We got a respect in the chat. People love Stasis. They did take the Force. I wonder if that means they have Bolt for Scrib Ranger, or they just don't know or don't care that that's part of my engine. Or if they're still focused on getting their own thing going. Cabal Therapy, target me. Okay. I'm going to let that resolve, and I'm going to hope they name the Stasis. Though they might be more worried about Narset here. Stasis, okay. We got him. I'm going to draw Stasis and slam Narset next turn. Oh, Demolich. Get fucked me. Alright, when this attacks, you can exile an instant or source from your graveyard, copy it, cast the copy. Okay, so my Scrib Ranger strategy does not help here because the Lich can lightning bolt it out of the bin. I think what I have to get going here is I have to Scrib in the end step, Stasis on my turn, and then hang on for dear life, hope to draw a Mana Dork at some point in the near future. Okay, this is an on-attack trigger. I guess they're just going to Thoughtseize me. Damn it. Or it would cost them Lotus Petal to Thoughtseize me, though. They have to cast the copy. It doesn't say without paying its mana. Or is that literally how copying works? I don't know. I think they have to pay for it. Okay, correct. All right, Ponder can resolve. And then I'll flash in Ranger and try to block. This is all part of my plan anyway. If they've got a Lightning Bolt, they've got a Lightning Bolt. Ain't a damn thing to do about it. Block. Pro Blue, busted. And we just went to my turn. Oh my goodness, it's the Mana Dork. Stasis, question mark? No, don't do stuff. Spell Pierce, no! I could have played around that. But then I couldn't have paid for the Stasis next turn, so not really. Alright, that's gone. Fetch. Drop. Hierarch. I still have my land drop, right? Yeah, it's turn 5, so I can attack for 2 and then still leave Ranger back. And then they have to decide if they want to bolt my mana source, knowing that I have a handful of Planeswalkers, or my Scribby that is currently stabilizing against their idiot. Okay, pass the turn. Yeah, the Stasis math versus soft counters is so annoying, because you have to have one more than you want to have. There's a reason this card isn't a competitive staple. They topped with the Preordain. Hate that for me. DRC. Okay. If they don't want to burn their Petal, then they don't get a spell here. Okay, Preordain. Yeah, it is up to 1, and they chose to do it, so I assume they're going to cast it here. That's really interesting. I wonder what they're building up to right now. They top-bottomed, so they kept the card that they already kept off the first one. Does their deck play Gutshot? Okay, yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. It makes sense now. I'm back on board. I hate it, but I'm here. Yep, Gutshot makes sense in the context of their deck. I will not be jump blocking with Noble Hierarch. Hey. Alright, so I could set up a multi-turn line, though being able to Gutshot from your graveyard off the Demi-Lich basically doesn't help me at all, because my Hierarch dies and then I can't stabilize with Kiora anyway. Yeah, I could play Kiora, untap Hierarch, and land and play Stasis, but then I'm still locked down. All right, I'm going to Narset first and try to find my way into a spot where I can lock down the game next turn. Preordain, that can help me find the land that I'm looking for, because I'm a mana short. That's the problem right now. There they are. Bottom, top. Play the Trop. Oh, was I supposed to top? Because if they Gutshot my Noble Hierarch, now I'm a mana short again. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's a bolt in the graveyard. I'm literally just dead on board, and I'm over here mapping it out. Yeah, I forgot that they never needed the bolt. There was a Force of Negation in something that I looked at, and I'm just going to make sure they don't accidentally bolt Narset and try to play around that. They figured it out. Okay. Coast to Coast with Demi-Lich. That was sweet. Once again, Endurance coming in. Flusterstorm, Hydroblast, Surgical. I could see arguments for all of those. And I was worried about Bowmaster, and this opponent's playing Gutshot. Sweet Jesus. I feel like Flusterstorm is probably better than these other cards. Let me see where I can get to here. And they're kind of a combo deck, but they're also kind of a Delver deck, and I don't know that I want to trust Force of Negation when I have 2 Spell Pierces, 2 Flusters, and probably 2 Hydroblasts as well. Once again, Ranger and Exploration are among the first that I try to trim. If I cut another Ranger, another Exploration, that would get me 1 each Surgical Hydro. Can I get the other 2 in? Still have a deck. Narset's good, but she's pretty clunky in this deck that has a bunch of attacking creatures and Gutshot in it. And Lightning Bolt. Okay, I'm going to leave 2 Narsets in and leave 1 Surgical at home and have this other interaction in the deck. I will keep this hand. Got that turn 2 Narset nuts. Narset D's nuts. Drop Hierarch. I hope they Thoughtseize me, because the card I care about I have 2 of. What I don't want is Dark Ritual Buried Alive Gutshot your Noble Hierarch. That would be some bullshit. Okay, that's not happening off of a volcanic island. Okay, I'm getting a turn. That's lucky. I don't really expect to get Blood Mooned out of this deck, and even if I do, go for it. I have Mana Dorks. Just want to make sure I can actually cast my spells the first time. I'm going to slam Stasis into my hand. Put him in check. Wow! Have you read Narset recently? Shame concede. Shame concede. Whoops. Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. There she is. Yeah, shame concede. Shame concede. That was great. All right, now on the draw, I actually do want to interact on turn 0. Just make sure I don't get taken to complete Clown Town. And I guess I shave a Birds of Paradise against the known Gutshot strategy. Should I bring in another Narset? Hey, that was sick. All right, I'm just going to go. But I'm glad my Narset technology did at least one thing in this league. Okay, this hand sucks against like a DRC slow start, but is great if they try to shithouse me. I'm going to keep it. This is where I want to see the Dark Ritual into Buried Alive. Do it. I dare you. Just a Ponder. Disappointing. Ponder did not shuffle. I'd love to find the land. Wow, Magic is easy. Okay, pass the turn. All right, they're fetching. Do we have a Dragon's Rage Channeler? Are we going to introduce Young Pyromancer to the game? All right, that didn't happen. Okay, Ponder, this is spell number 1. They milled a Brainstorm. I wonder if I'm supposed to end step Brainstorm here. I think I am, because my mana's so tight for the next several turns. I would like to just map shit out. And looks like I am going to be able to successfully do that. I found land number 3, which means I can Scrib and then work my way up into Narset without having to pick up a land with Scrib. And there's a backup Scrib on top, so I'm not even that upset if that one gets smushed. 3 card types in the graveyard, Brainstorm on the stack. If they don't get Delirium, I will trade a Scrib for one of these. They don't have it yet. No Bauble, no Petal, please. If they do get Delirium, I think I'm just going to Brazen Borrower, the one that can attack. Underground Sea. That's not a shuffle effect. They're attacking. I'm gonna Scrib out here and see if I can get a trade. It's weird that I have to play the control deck, but I think that is where I am. Okay, Gutshot will clear this, and it also clears the 2 Brainstorm cards. Let's see if that gets them Delirium. It does not. Okay. I could force this. Pitching Ponder, get my trade, Brazen Borrow your other thing. I think this is actually worth doing. I hate it, but they're going to beat me by bashing me with a bunch of damage, and if I can take this damage off the board, then I'm feeling better about the situation. Draw for turn. I could just play Narset, just place her onto the battlefield and not activate her, and hopefully shut down their engine for a little bit. Guess I could have also taken my medicine for a turn, bounce this, play Narset, get a card out of her. Yeah, I've chosen to play Narset as just an enchantment this game. I hope it pays out. Finding an Endurance would be a big game. Ugh, I'm sick of these. Preordain. Okay. I can Preordain, try to find Endurance, and set up for the future. I could play Scrib Ranger, pick up the land, and also hold up Brazen Borrower bounce. I think Preordaining is just... like, I need to do something real here, and Endurance is the thing. Okay, well, there's Endurance Surgical. Top. I'll take them both. And then I can actually bounce Brazen Borrower, or bounce one of the DRCs, and then exile them, and take the one out of their hand. I don't think that's the best way to play this game, though. I think Brazen Borrower is best as a blue card for force at this point. Pick up my land, play it. Just make sure I don't get cheesed by Phoenixes on my way to Endurancing to stabilize next turn. Oh, they could hardcast Phoenix here. That sucks. Hopefully they just attack both things with Narset and I don't have to think about blocks. Oh, they're going face with both of it, actually. Interesting. Yeah, alright, I accept. Okay, so their hand must not have any counter spells in it. You know, I can Surgical to probe what they're doing. Should probably attack. So I can pick up and replay the land anyway. Oh, I wasn't going to block anyway. What am I doing here? All right, I'm going to float a mana and replay my land, and then I'm just going to pass. Yeah, I think Endurance can shut it down here. I have Force backup. I have to decide if I care about any of the cards in their graveyard. I think I just send the Endurance because I have the Force to back it up. And then I'll keep Surgical around for if they do reload, make a second round of Phoenixes. And I'm going to block both of these. I'll throw a Ranger away. This is what this game's about. Getting these jerks out of the way. Okay, they're casting a Lightning Bolt to clear the Endurance. That is the card I would have Surgicaled if I was going to Surgical anything, which I'm not. I think I just take my trade here, and I just don't worry about this. Because I'm getting the board clean, and I'm still hanging Narset out. Okay, they're fetching. I still have the Force of Will, if I need that. If they get Delirium, Surgical can collapse it. Pyroblasting Narset, disappointing. They did get Delirium. Okay, so if everything just resolves right now, I lose Narset. They get to keep a Dragon's Rage Channeler. I lose Scrib Ranger. And I still have Brazen Borrower that can trade with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Or I can do the Surgical trick and take the Channelers out of their deck. I could also let damage resolve and then kill their Dragon's Rage Channeler with Surgical at the end of the turn. Okay, they have 2 sorceries, 2 instants. I would have to exile Polluted Delta or Lotus Petal for this to work, versus just doing the Brazen Borrower thing. I'm going to do the Borrower thing. Found a Hierarch. Probably supposed to Petty Theft first. But I'm going to stop in their draw step and exile their Dragon's Rage Channelers, which does expose me to a combo but I know I'm getting a card off of this. Okay, now they're getting a free shuffle out of the deal. That was a very good card to have. Brazen Borrower Demi-Lich is what they're cooking with over there. And they can just cast Demi-Lich. That's annoying. Buried Alive's Phoenixes. They have, oh, the Demi-Lich is a 1-of. That's awesome. Okay, so they have 4 Phoenixes, Brazen Borrowers, and 4 Phoenix, 2 Borrower, 1 Demi-Lich to win the game with, plus their burn spells. Okay. Yeah, this Lich is going to bury me, though. They can just spend 4 mana on it. Or 3 mana, because they've already brainstormed this turn. Uh-oh. Stasis. Shit. Play another Hierarch. Thoughtseize is fine. That's just damage they have to take against a card I don't care about. They'll probably preordain here, would be my guess. Yep. I don't think it's time to start chump blocking. My Borrower is tricky. I think I need to block their Borrower more than I need to apply pressure here. And it just gets bolted if I play it out. Though I think doing something here is worth doing. Because Endurance is still the best draw in my deck. And if I can create a situation where Endurance is more likely to resolve or hit harder, that's great. Okay, I'll attack for 5. See what they want to do about it. This Hydroblast countering Bolt is sick. And they can't really bounce my Brazen Borrower, because then I just bounce their Demi-Lich and we all just bounce each other all day. It's not much of a plan. Okay, looks like they want to race. They're attacking for 7. It's probably time to cast this Lightning Bolt, would be my guess. Yep. I am currently winning the race. Gonna Hydroblast their Bolt. I gotta block or I lose. If their hand is empty, I'm gonna win this game. Or if I draw a relevant spell right now. Oh, that's not helpful. Or I guess I'm not winning the game. I'm a turn behind the Demi-Lich because they can block with Brazen Bee. Alright, well, put you to 2. Hope it works. Yeah, I'm definitely behind. They have so many spells in their deck that are high impact here. Including this Lightning Bolt in their hand. Alright, I'm dead. GG's. Yeah, cool deck. This Demi-Lich just roasted me in the 2 games it showed up. On to the final round. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. On the draw in the final round. I feel like I've been on the draw this entire league, which is perfect because I can blame that on my record and not the fact that my deck is wonky as shit. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Boy, would I love to spell pierce that. Okay. I mean, we've probably lost. If I find a Mana Dork, we could get something going. Man, just winning the die roll here, spell pierce that Fable. GG. Wish I had some of that. Okay, they're attacking. Straight into a non-counterable initiative idiot. Yep, okay. I'm actually done with this game. I can't win it, and I can just, like, hide what my deck actually does a little bit. I kind of like attacking the mana of this initiative deck because it's kind of bad, and Lotus Petal and Chromox hold it all together. Force of Negation stinkos. I do have a bunch of creatures that can poke and take the initiative if I can get through one of their creatures. Narset doesn't matter at all. Is there something I'd rather have in play? Maybe Force of Vigor. Endurance is a body, but the body, that's all it is. Their graveyard doesn't matter. Yeah, I think I'm going to go +1 Force of Vigor and do it like this. Okay, I can keep this, and I have Force plus Hydroblast. I'd rather Hydroblast than Force, but I think I need to Ponder here. Ponder, opponent's on 6. Found the lands to play the game with. That's good news. Okay, I will draw the Forest now. I have Force that can pitch Brainstorm. Then I can play Collector Oof. Let's hope they don't have a Cavern of Souls start. That's not a Cavern of Souls. Alright, this is a lot of artifact mana. This is the plan coming together, I hope. Another artifact mana source. But that does mean they can Pyroblast me. If I lose because I didn't hold up Hydroblast, they got 1 card in their hand. Alright. Let me hear that. Ooh. Okay, so they have 2 cards in their hand. They have 4 colorless mana now. And when you're a fair deck, your null rods are low-key, like, pretty good against initiative. You start with a Ponder, Noble Hierarch, Exploration, Spell Pierce. The Noble Hierarch is part of my engine here. It also wins the game faster. And I can Hydroblast a Fury, which is the card they could cast without any colored mana available. And hopefully, let's just get it done from here. I'm going to shuffle. I don't want the Spell Pierce at this point. And Lights Outing, Boros Initiative with a lock piece with a Hate Bear makes me so happy. And I'm not trying to count my chickens and declare their death just yet, but this is what they're trying to do to people, and I'm trying to do it to them. And now I have a flyer if they introduce the initiative. And now I can hardcast Force and Hydroblast in the same turn, because I have the untap tricks. I'm not actually sure if it's better or if it matters if I'm attacking with for 3 with 2 creatures or 3 with 1 creature. Yeah, they're dead. Cool, that ruled. A Force of Vigor is another way to attack their mana. Is that something I'm interested in? It might be better than Exploration, actually. Get Force of Vigor in, make sure I don't lose to Blood Moon, I guess. So I do have basic lands, Hydroblast. Going in. It's happening. No interaction or disruption of any kind. However, I can shove the combo pretty quickly. I'm going to try it. This might be a huge punt. There are draws this deck has where this will run them over, and there are draws this deck has where I've done nothing at all. I'm going to start with Birds of Paradise, because that can fly if I do need to take the initiative and then lock down the game next turn, because the Hierarch can give it power. Archon of Emir, speaking of flying, fuck me. A Trop is tapped. I'll play the Noble Hierarch. Yeah, Archon of Emir actually just collapses my entire engine, because I'm based on picking up and putting down a non-basic forest. That's disappointing. Force of Will would have been great here. Fury, shit. Well, that sucks. I'm going to Brainstorm off the bird. Can't cast 2 spells in a turn anyway. Might as well. Cast 1 now. There's a Stasis and a Scrib. This no longer is a game plan, if it ever was. The Garruk is close to a game plan, but not really. Man, Archon of Myria, what a beating. Okay, my things are gone. I would have loved to just shove Garruk Wildspeaker onto this board as a Planeswalker. Just Lorwyn standard, but that's not going to happen here. I really want to hit a land drop, like a proper land drop, not a Scrib thing. Okay. There's a Force of Will, and then a land that will take 2 turns to actually be a land. I'm going to bet on Force of Will, actually. If they're in the Pitch Fury, pass the turn business, kind of... Here's a land that they did not play last turn, and blanks the line I just took. Okay, they got me. I think of all cards and strategies and interactions that happen on this channel, they don't have Cavern, and then they draw Cavern, is the one that gets me the most. I'm trying to think how I actually even play this game, much less win it. I'm drawing this Misty Rainforest. I'm not going to Brainstorm in the end step. I still have hopes. I can fetch a basic island or forest with this, but basic island or forest does not keep Stasis in play, because I can't pick up an island and a forest doesn't pay for Stasis. Simian Spirit Guide was just exiled. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's worth a Force of Will to me. Force, I think I pitched the Stasis because I just can't actually do the lock. Though, if I pitch the Brainstorm, if I find Brazen Borrower, I can break things up, which is a big if. Garruk also pays for Stasis. All right, I'm going to try to set up a Garruk Stasis endgame, and I'm going to fetch basic forest with this fetch land. All right, I found another Force of Will. That's great. Quarian Ranger. Untap it with the basic that I can play. Feeling good. I hope I don't need to force anything, because I now actually have a line to play Garruk next turn and play Stasis on the following turn, untap my 2 islands, and then we're in there, even through the Archon. And if they introduce the initiative, I can poke them with a flyer, get a basic island, and guarantee Garruk can play. But I can't play Garruk into an initiative creature, because then Garruk dies. Alright, end step Scribby. I go to my turn, a fetch land. I'm going to attack with my creatures. See if they want to pitch a Solitude onto one of them. I don't know why they would do that, but the option's there. Pick up the forest, play Garruk, untap 2 target lands, and pass the turn. If they've been holding a Fury, I will force it because I think Garruk is a better permanent than Stasis, especially if I don't have the Garruk. Okay, this can't be countered. This is actually might be okay somehow. They get to search for a basic. And if I can attack and do things in a turn, but they can't, the Stasis will beat the initiative eventually. I hope they do attack with Archon. Or no, the Seasoned Dungeoneer will kill Garruk. Shit. If they attack with Archon, if they attack Garruk with Archon, I think I have to block. Oh, please just go face. Don't make me think about this. Nice. Okay, they went face. That's the nut outcome here. Because now Seasoned Dungeoneer can only get up to... Oh, nope, they can forge. But they forge after combat because I'm going to take the initiative here. Okay. Things are happening. I draw for turn. I attack you with Scrib Ranger. If they pitch cast Solitude now, I'm going to be super bummed. No! No, don't do stuff. Okay. I have another Scrib Ranger. And I can play 2 spells in a turn. Or in a turn cycle. Okay, Scrib Ranger's gone. And then if I play Stasis and untap my lands with Garruk, if they just attack Garruk, 5, 6, 7, possibly 8. If they don't respect Garruk, they could lose here. I played a tapped land, pass the turn. Moment of truth. I just need them to play bad, basically. So, actually, it doesn't matter if they kill Garruk anymore. Because I have 2 creatures that can take the initiative. I can... Oh no, the fucking Archon's still in play. Damn it! Okay. Garruk matters a lot. Please go face. Please go face. Yeah, other than Archon of Amir, I'm actually in good shape here. Please attack my face. Put me to 4. Heck yeah, they're going face. That's great news for me. They're betting on the trap, finishing me off next turn. But they've left Garruk in play. And I'm going to have the initiative for the rest of the game here. Chrome Mox is your spell for turn. Exiling Touch the Spirit Realm. But guess what? I have 2 creatures. Surprise! Upkeep. Pay for Stasis. Draw for turn. Attack with my 2 creatures. They can't play 2 spells here because of their own card. I have the initiative now. I'm going to get my basic island. Then play basic island. Untap 2 target lands. I still have a spell for the turn. I'll play that. And go. Okay. They had multiple opportunities for all this to not happen, but here we are. There's the Lotus Petal they kept on top last turn. It's also their spell for the turn. Okay, that works. Talked a lot of shit. They figured it out. Okay, fine. All right, I die in the end step. GG's. Touched by the Spirit Realm. Okay, this deck sucked. I just fundamentally did not account for Orcish Bowmaster in the metagame. The sideboard should probably have some number of dismember so you can beat the initiative. When I couldn't play White Plume Adventure anymore, I just cut white and never looked back, but if we have white for Swords of the Plowshares and Prismatic Ending that can answer stuff like Carpet of Flowers and Initiative Creatures, if we're playing Plow, we don't need Dismember. The deck probably wants Root Maze, because I had at least one opponent in a Stasis squeeze, but they were able to just hit their land drops and get out of it. This was not my best showing. I tried to go back to basics, but I went back to a format that doesn't exist anymore, and this is why we test. Sometimes it takes literally one match where you just queue into Orcish Bowmasters and you're like, oh yeah, this card is not beatable with my deck built around X1s. Literally every creature in my deck's an X1. If I were to do this again, I would build the deck very differently, but this is what we got, and I'm gonna give it a Thomas Edison Award of finding something that didn't work. Beer Guard, thank you for asking me to send Stasis in. Sorry I didn't do better, but like I said in the leagues, there's a reason this isn't a competitive card. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.